Thank you to SnakeStone97 for their generous donation on Patreon. If you'd like to join them in their generosity, the link to my Patreon page is in the description. Hello everyone, my name is Decalink the Trained and Professional, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. And welcome back to my totally not gross, lovely, fantastic mustache. On the last episode of Tennis Ace, we are dealing with our emotions, and on this one, we're going to try to express our emotions. Yee! Alright, the number of students passing by the gate is very small even for this time of morning. Just to make sure there'd be no way I'd miss Shoichi, I dropped by even before the gates opened, and just hung around them, waiting for him to arrive. I also might not have been able to sleep much, which may have contributed to my being so early. Regardless, I lazily watched the few students that dropped by early in the morning while keeping my eyes open for a certain husky. Checking the time on my phone, I see that that's around the time that he'd be showing up for class. He'd probably come by any time now. And he's going to be really surprised to see me even before him. Last time it happened was by complete accident, and he still looked shell-shocked. Just thinking about it, I can't help but pout a bit. It's like he has no expectations of me at all. Maybe I should start working a little bit harder to teach him a lesson. Bet he'd be real annoyed if I turned out to score higher than him on our next midterms. I'd love to see the look on his face. I'm sure it'd look lovely. But then again, he always does look lovely. ... Yeah, what am I doing? I'm daydreaming about embarrassing stuff instead of paying attention. God damn it, Shoichi. My head is filled with of so much of you lately. I'm definitely going to make him pay for it soon. Ah, there he is. I see a familiar figure walking towards the gate with his eyes glued to the ground, his bag slung over his shoulder and held behind his back. His tail swishes meekly behind him, almost falling between his legs. I don't even need to get close to understand what Saya meant. He absolutely looks like a zombie. Morning. Morning. He mumbles an unenthusiastic answer back at me, taking a few more steps past me as if it were nothing. Oh! Then, as if it had begun to click in his head, he stops in his tracks. Turning around, he stares at me with a blank look on his face for a few seconds before... Ah, Cleves! There it is. Jeez, took you long enough. What are you doing spacing out this hard first thing in the morning? Huh? Eloquent. You'd sure be the valedictorian. How are you here this early? Same way as always. I walked. You know that's not what I meant. I was hoping you and I could talk, so I decided to get here early before you'd get busy. Is that all right? I guess that makes sense. Sure, we can talk. Let's walk a little bit over there. I don't want people overhearing us. I quickly point to a corner a few meters away from the main gate. Still by the front of the school, but far enough that no one can just pass by and hear us. It's an open area, so if anyone starts getting close, we'll see them. Sure. Shoichi flashes me a strained smile, pressing his lips so tightly together that they form a thin line. Once we're there, I take a few deep breaths. I've already rehearsed what I wanted to say since last night. Now all that's left is saying it. When I feel ready, I turn around again, seeing Shoichi staring at me expectantly. It's pretty clear to see that I'm not the only one feeling awkward and uncomfortable in this situation. I think we need to talk about what happened last Friday. I measure my words and tone of voice, trying to speak as neutrally as possible. Shoichi nods slowly, listening intently. I'm sorry to have put you in such a horrible position. I was trying my hardest not to cause any problems for you, but I messed up anyway. Oh, fuckity, 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 fuckity. So, someone made mention of the fact in their comment. They're like, keep in mind that Shoichi needs someone to really stand up for him and stuff. And it really doesn't make sense to go all out, to say your piece, to fucking hiya, and then be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Um, I'm nervous because Basket did not tell me what the right choice was, but he did tell me if I got the bad route that it would be very stressful, whatever the fuck that means. And I don't want there to be stress involved with this, because my mind goes immediately to the worst possible outcomes when he speaks like that. So I'm going to choose be firm. But as always, if I McFuck up, I got a good few save slots available before I have to stick with that choice without having to do some inconvenience. So let me know in the comments. Is this the wrong choice? Let's see. I'll be honest that I still believe I was right. And I still stand by what I said. I absolutely hate the way your father is treating you. Cleves. But I cut him off before he can say it. I know him, and more importantly, I know that look on his face. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want him to justify it or somehow act like it was acceptable. No matter what happens, that is absolutely the one thing I can't accept. If that's how he regularly treats you, then I'll say this now. I hate your father. Huh? You deserve better than to be treated like that, and I'll hate anyone who does. Come on, that much should already be obvious. It's not that bad. He means what? Stop. Shoichi bites his lips, still avoiding my gaze. He's not the type to ask for help. In fact, he's the type to blame himself for everything. I hate that about him. And even more than that, I hate the fact that it took me so long to notice. If we hadn't begun dating and he hadn't taken so much of my attention lately, I might never have noticed. That thought alone scares me more than anything. But it's because he doesn't take proper care of himself that I'm going to have to be pushy. I need to look out for him until he starts looking out for himself. That's the decision I've come to, and I'm not backing down from it. I understand you want to keep the peace for now. I hate that that's what you want, but I understand it. But you and I are going to start looking into ways for you to fix this situation. To what? I'm not expecting anything to change overnight. But I'm going to work on fixing that screwed up thought process of yours. Until you can stand up for yourself. I never want to see you retreating like that ever again. Please, I don't know. It's all right. I'll help you with that. You know, I'm here for you. Yeah. Shoichi crosses his arms, hugging them tightly and close to his body. His entire body is quivering slightly, and as he looks away from me, his voice hushed, and barely more than a whisper, breaking even though he's barely said a single word. I will also admit that it really hurt me to see you standing quietly like that. It felt like I had your back and you didn't have mine. I know we're both still new to this whole thing with our relationship, but that really hurt to see you let me take the heat like that without a word. Yeah. Oh, man. The sad boy. Oh, God. It sucks because I've been the powerless one, the one that felt like I couldn't do anything. And logically, I could have done so many things, but I felt like I couldn't. And now oh, God, that fucking hurts. Shoichi's lips waver. He takes deep breaths, leaning his back against the wall and trying to stabilize himself. His eyes glisten even more against the sunlight, misty and with small droplets beginning to form. It wasn't my intention to make him cry, but I really feel like I needed to get it all off my chest. If I didn't, then I'd definitely regret it. Jesus, how hard did you hit him? I place a hand on his shoulder, squeezing it lightly in an attempt to be reassuring. It sounds like you fucking knocked him out. Fucking BAP! If there wasn't a risk of being seen, I'd give him a tight hug, but I don't want to call attention to us. Especially not when Shoichi is so vulnerable. I want to minimize the risk of people seeing this as much as possible. I stand by in silence, just trying to let him feel me nearby. It takes a couple of minutes, but Shoichi managed to recompose himself little by little. This would probably be a good chance to continue with what I had to say. It feels really good to have been able to get it off my chest. Although I admit that it felt more like I was talking at Shoichi instead of to him. For the time being, maybe we should look into a way for you to spend more time out of the house. For the time being, that's way too big an ask for you to call it that. Not necessarily. What if you started spending a few nights a week at your mom's? She still lives in your childhood home, right? That means you still have your room there. Shoichi chokes, his eyes going wide once he hears the words I have to say. Immediately upon hearing them, he takes an instinctive step away from me, hugging his arms close to his body and looking away. That I can't. Iman, I know you have your reservations, but you think it's about time? She probably wouldn't want to see me. She is your mother. You know that there's no way that's true. You're just making excuses again. Besides, I'm sure Hitoka-chan would enjoy seeing more of you, don't you think? I guess. Don't sound so meek about it. What's even holding you back at this point? I just... Can't we talk about this later? I don't think now's a good time. What? No, we can't talk about it later. We've already gotten this far, and it's not like this wasn't a difficult conversation to begin with. It's better to say everything that needs to be said instead of letting it loom over our heads. I know I'm not going to be able to feel at ease until then. But just tell me already why you're so hesitant to do it. I'm sure it can't be a big deal. I told you before, I feel guilty. Why guilty? You're not the reason they got divorced. You do know that, right? I agreed to go with Dad without even being asked. I chose it of my own free will. Mom wanted to get custody of both of us, but I knew there was no way that was going to happen, so I just chose to go. Because I wanted Hitoka to stay with Mom no matter what. Still, I know that hurt her a lot. I basically gave up. She wanted me there, and I said no. That's just a bad situation. That's not your fault. It's easy for you to say. I don't know what I should do. I feel the need to say something, but I have no idea what. The whole thing sounds so absurd to me, but for Shoichi, that's the reality he lives in. Should I even push the issue? Wouldn't he just get mad at me if I did? I still think you should at least try. Isn't that all you can really do? Just try your best? I'm sure she'll be happy to see you again. At the very least, I can't imagine her ever being angry at you. She probably missed you more than anyone else. Please don't say things like that. All I'm saying is stop! Why are you yelling at me? Shoichi raises his voice so suddenly that I nearly jump back at a reflex. The fur around my neck bristles up and stands at attention. I asked you to stop. I don't want to hear this. Come on, why are you getting mad all of a sudden? I don't want to hear it! Jesus, mad boy. You went from sad boy to mad boy. Look at that fucking yeesh. This is bad. Shoichi's tail is thrashing behind him. He's usually not the type to get angry this quickly. Is this a really touchy subject for him? I hadn't even considered the possibility that it could be. I suppose it makes sense, but still, can I really just leave things as they are? If I do, then nothing will really change, will it? Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, lordy but gordy. So here's the thing. This whole struggle has been based around doing the uncomfortable. But it's also been around doing what can be done to show that I support him. So is it better to support him in letting him handle it himself, but he's not? Or is it better to fucking force the issue and risk him running away? Oh my god. Okay. Well, it's in the middle of the day, and it's in the middle of the shit, so I'm not gonna stop here. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna pick one, and I'm going to see what happens. Because I know we can just go back. We can just go back. We can load the save file again. It can be fine if what we choose is obviously wrong. So in that vein, it seems like the better idea is to keep pushing. But if we keep pushing, it might go really bad. Oh no. It really just comes down to is there a limit to how much we should pursue the plot and in such that we force the issue? Because here's the thing. We have a similar choice in this very game when it comes to June. Mind you, different character, different situation, different thing being pushed. But there were times to not, and there's times to do. Fuck. I don't. Ow. I say ow because it hurts me, my heart. I want to see what happens if we keep pushing, but I'm looking at this angry boy and I'm scared. I don't. I'm gonna first try let it go. Wait! Sorry, I just had to get your attention. I fucked up here, but later in the same episode, later on, I go back and get the right one. So, in case you're about to fucking go nutso-futso about me having made the wrong choice, I do explore it, I see it for a little bit, see some of the consequences, the warning signs that I fucked up, but I do go back and rectify the situation and get the right outcome. So, don't worry. Want to say something, Bri?
Panic! Panic!
No! No, don't panic!
Daddy did it wrong!
No!
Oh,
I'm gonna first try let it go, because maybe if we de-escalate right now, agree to talk later, maybe that will be the whole come to lunch thing, and he'll come back and talk when he's calmer. I am very curious to see what happens if we do keep pushing, though. No, I'm gonna choose let it go for now to see what happens, but I'll show you. I fucking saved. I saved. It's right here. Right here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. This one. Top right corner. So we're going to try let it go for now to see what happens. God, I feel like such a fucking bitch. However, even if I say that to convince myself that what I'm doing is the right thing, just one look at his face is enough to let me know I'm seriously trampling over Shoichi's boundaries here. Whether I think it's what's best for him or not isn't any justification. In fact, it might just make things even worse. Aren't I criticizing his dad for being controlling and saying it's what's best isn't an excuse? I'm not any better if I do this. Yeah, alright. I'll drop it. I'm sorry for being so pushy. Dots. Shoichi looks away from me. For a second, I think he might still be upset, but then I notice his expression softening little by little. I think I might need to give him some space. Honestly, this was a really heavy conversation to have so early in the morning, and even if I had the time to mentally prepare myself for it, Shoichi sure didn't. I just got him by surprise and forced him into it. When I think about it like that, it's pretty obvious that I need to back off and give him some time. And honestly, I wouldn't mind having a break myself. All the exhaustion from not sleeping is starting to catch up to me. I might just ditch the first few periods and take a nap on the roof. No, I promised myself I'd do better in school, damn it. I need to finish this. I need to teach this big lug a lesson. Why do you suddenly look so fired up? Don't worry about it. Right. Either way, I need some time to clear my head. Is that alright? Of course! Thank you for even listening to me in the first place. Yeah. I hope I didn't upset him too much. Ugh. I don't feel great, but they made really good points. But of course they would if the choice was being validated. The bell finally rings, bringing a start to the lunch break. I quickly put my notebook inside my bag, giving one last quick glances to the notes I'd taken today. Somehow I do feel a slight sense of pride for working so hard on these. Sure, it might just have been one day, but I do feel like it's progress. Plus, with how much importance Shoichi puts on my studies, I'm sure he'd be thrilled to see me putting in the effort. It's not much, but I feel like any little thing, no matter how small, would be a good way to cheer him up. And maybe patch up a bit? Man, I must really be desperate if I'm depending on academics for that sort of thing. It's kind of sad in a pathetic sort of way. I sneak a glance at the vacant seat next to me. Today, again, June has failed to show up for class without a word. He also hasn't really answered the message I sent him yesterday. I really don't like this, but I can't chase after him for some kind of answer. He'll talk to me when he talks to me. Knowing him, he'll probably just waltz back into class at some point like nothing happened. It's definitely very much like him. Morning. Saya raises a hand, giving my class a neutral greeting before quickly walking towards me. She pulls a chair toward me, taking a seat right next to me. Morning. Hey, did things get any better after yesterday? Depends on what you mean by better. I already don't like the sound of that. I talked to Shoichi this morning. We were able to clear the air a bit, but... What? I might have upset him just a tiny bit in the process. How are you so bad at this? I'm doing my best, okay? Conflict resolution was never one of my strong suits. Do you think he's going to be joining us for lunch today? He could, but I wouldn't bet on it. God damn it, I want to have a chance to be happy for you guys, but you're not throwing me a bone here. Sorry. Saya grumbles unhappily, forcefully dropping her bag on the table and digging inside of it for her boxed lunch. So, what hole did you manage to cram your foot into this time? I have no idea. I just tried suggesting he reconnect with his mom and he got super mad at me. Really? That's all it took? That's weird. Right? So it makes no sense to you either? Yeah, but then again, neither of us are children of divorced parents. We don't know what kinds of ways that sort of thing messes with you. Fair. Just try being a little more tactful with the subject in the future. Yeah. Sai gives me a few pats on the back, again, with sounds like the force of a fucking falcon punch, to try to cheer me up. Despite her usual ogre-like strength, they're very soft and reassuring. I didn't think she was even capable of holding back. But then again, that sort of thing usually happens when she's super excited. She can be a little bit like a typhoon in that aspect. I'm at least happy you guys managed to talk despite a little setback. Yeah. It was really nice just to hear from him again. I'm sure things will go back to normal before you know it. Do Shoichi and I still have a normal anymore? Things are constantly getting more and more different since we started dating. Going back to normal would probably mean breaking up. I really don't want that. Sai and I talk idly about nothing in particular for the rest of the lunch break. Catch myself wishing June and Shoichi were here a few times, but otherwise don't focus too much on it. No point bumming myself out on purpose. Fuck! Oh no! Oh no! Was that the moment? Was that the moment that we wished he would have shown up? Oh no! Oh no, oh no! Was that the moment? Shit! Because people were saying, let me pull up a comment. Maybe I can fucking discern from that what should be happening. Oh. Okay, so comment from What the fuck? No, I don't want to watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Comment from Pro Gamer is a dead meme. Says, you have 2 more choices left, and they're right next to each other, pretty much. The way to tell if you got those right is if Shoichi comes to lunch after those choices and if he agrees with Yuichi. Well, he didn't come to lunch. Shit. Shitty McShitterson. Also, they're the first person to openly acknowledge the fact that Cleveland is spelled wrong here. I must have accidentally rushed it when I had to redo the save files. So we're gonna save here, and then we're gonna load. No, we're gonna load this one. Ah, fuck. So here's the thing. We don't know what the right choices are. There's 2 choices with 2 options. So there's what, like 4 different possible combinations, and all of them could lead to possibly whatever. So let's do the easy one first, which is sticking with our first choice but changing our second one, which could make things worse. They easily could make things very much with the worse, but we'll see what happens. Oh god, this might also, fun fact, what I imagine is there's a right one, 2 neutral ones, and a very bad one. So we might be choosing the very bad one. But again, I'm fishing around trying to find the right one. We got to get him to lunch. Jesus, I don't want to piss him off. I'm so scared. I'm sorry. No, I have to say it. Oh God, I'm scared. Please no. Because if you don't, you'll just refuse outright. You can be so stubborn over the stupidest things, although it might be mean to call this stupid. Oh God, no. No, this is not it. This is not the right one. This is not it. Ugh. I get that you have your own hang-ups about it, but enough is enough. Oh no, no! Look, I know you feel guilty about it. I get it. Maybe I'm the lucky one, since I never had to deal with this sort of thing. Maybe I just can't understand what you went through. But that's not what But you can't keep hiding from it. The longer you stay away, the harder it'll be to reconnect. Besides, you do want to see her, don't you? It's not that easy. Sure it is. You just have to want it to be instead of digging your own 2 feet in the ground like a stubborn mule. Honestly, you frustrate me to no end sometimes. Dumbass. This is definitely not it. This is definitely not it. Huff all you want, but you know I'm right. There's no way your mother wouldn't want to see you. You're her son, for crying out loud. Just go to her and mend that bridge. Besides, it would go a long way towards making you less dependent on your dad. Shoichi's clutch around his arms tightens. Part of me can't help but think he's going to end up puncturing himself like that. Hugging yourself is a defensive stance. You're seeking comfort. It means he's very uncomfortable, and it indicates that something bad. Oh, no! And yet, little by little, his gaze begins to soften. I see the tension vanishing from his shoulders. It seems my words managed to reach him to some degree. Or at least he's not rejecting them outright. Even that would be already a big step forward. I'll think about it. Yeah, that's all I'm really asking for. Just don't reject me without giving it some thought. Shoichi nods. I do want to see her. Just those words by themselves are enough. I feel a weight lifting from my shoulders once I hear that. Validation that I made the right choice. Wait a minute. We'll see. The lunch will be the test. I knew having this conversation wouldn't be easy, but still, once the tension starts leaving my body, I begin to realize I feel exhausted. The day has barely started and I already feel like I could just crawl into bed and shut down. You right there, big guy? I don't know. I have a lot of stuff on my mind. At least we were able to talk, right? Still beats not talking at all. Of course. I'm glad I was able to talk to you again. I always am. I just felt too awkward to take that first step after what happened. I guess that means I'm lacking in maturity, huh? Well, we'll get there. Communication is hard. No kidding. Shoichi places a hand on his chest, taking a deep breath and sighing. I'll admit that it was good to get some of these things out of my chest, but man, I feel really beat all of a sudden. I kind of want to point out that he barely even spoke in the first place, but that would probably be uncalled for. I'm gonna head out now. I have a lot I need to get done before classes start. Thank you for talking to me. Feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Of course, I'm always here for you. You know that. It's definitely reassuring to hear. Talk to you later. This is all indications are saying that this was the right choice. But again, lunch is the test, so we will see. Shoichi walks away, a slight but crooked smile on his face. Despite the overall awkwardness, I definitely feel like we've managed to push forward somehow. And I probably need to figure out what to do with myself until classes start in over an hour. Probably going to take a nap until then. The bell finally rings, bringing the start to the lunch break. I quickly put away my notebook inside my bag, giving at least one last quick glances to the notes. Somehow feel a slight sense of pride. Already seen this. Sure, it might have been one day, but I do feel like it's progress. That's different. I'm sure Shoichi would be proud of me, too, for working hard. He's always been the loudest proponent that I needed to take my studies more seriously. I still find it a bit pointless since I'm not planning on going to college, but if it makes him happy, then I want to do it. Also, it's good to keep your options open. You never know. It's not like it's any sweat off my back. I sneak a glance at the vacant seat next to me. Oh, the June stuff. He hasn't answered the message. I can't chase him. He talks to me when he wants to, knowing he'll probably waltz in, very much like him. Shoichi came to lunch! Oh, God! Oh, the goodness gracious. So they said that he needs to show up and agree with me. He seemed to agree with me, so I don't know if show up and then agree or those are just two requirements. Isn't it interesting that what seems to be the right choice is hidden behind such, like, don't fucking push me vibes? Like, ooh. I guess the message with those two choices, should this prove to be the right one, is like, you gotta fucking keep pushing him. Oh, man. The back door to the class opens suddenly with Saya and Shoichi quickly entering the room. Pardon the intrusion. The two of them give very different greetings from one another and yet are equally well received. A few of my classmates smile and wave at them, returning their greetings in kind. Those two, Saya in particular, have always had a lot more ties to our classmates than I did. Come to think of it, I really did spend the last 3 years acting as a lone wolf kind of guy. Saya and Shoichi, and then last year, Keisuke. I barely talked to anyone other than those three, unless it had some really short conversation about games or food or some such. I really hope I don't end up becoming some kind of antisocial mess. That would really suck. Sup! You two sure do manage to arrive here together pretty often, considering you're not even in the same class. Well, our class is neighbor yours on both ends, so we have to walk about the exact same distance. I guess that makes sense. They both pull up chairs and sit with me, digging inside their bags for the lunches. You're also in a good mood. That's great. Don't mind her. Obviously, I know what she means, considering that she talked to me about yesterday, but there's no real reason to bring Shoichi into this. If anything, it'd only make him feel more self-conscious. So, how you guys doing? Must be a relief to be done with exams, huh? No need to study like crazy anymore for now. Sort of. You probably shouldn't stop studying regardless. Need to be prepared for the next exams. Come on, there's got to be a limit to how righteous you can be. Saya fidgets on her seat, humming happily with a quite loud fashion. Okay, you're definitely trying to get our attention, aren't you? I'm just really happy. How come? This is the first time we got to hang out, the three of us together, since you guys told me about you two. That's a reason to be happy. Hey, who else knows? Does anyone else know? Aren't you getting a bit too excited over this? We were hoping not to make this a big deal. Definitely doesn't set a good precedent for telling the others. Well, of course I'm gonna... Woof, not so loud. What did she say? I'm happy that Shoichi's been able to... not so loud. Shoichi nearly lunges forward from his seat, clasping his hand around Saya's muzzle and keeping her from continuing to talk. Are you trying to out us to everyone? Sorry. She mumbles almost unintelligibly, despite her mouth still being forced shut, her brows furrowing a little. I thought my heart was gonna stop. Same here. Sorry, I was just a bit overexcited. Just try being a bit careful. I know that's a big ask for you, but still. What? It's not a big ask. I too can be careful. Yeah, sure. It's because you're careful that I had to hold your mouth shut. One single mistake doesn't establish a precedent. Keep telling yourself that. Anyway, who else did you tell? You're still on that? Of course, it's huge news. No one much. I haven't told anyone else as far as I can recall. There is Haruki. Oh, right. Haruki? Saya cocks her head to the side. Oh, wait, is that the angry wolf dude that's on the volleyball team? The same. He's a handful, to say the least. Out of all the people you could have told, why a guy like that? It's not like we picked him out of a lineup. He had figured Shoichi out just like you and meddled. From what you told me about what he did, meddled is putting it nicely. Hey, don't be like that. Last thing I want is to have to deal with now is a pouty, jealous Shoichi. What did he do? From what Cleves told me, Haruki was the one who told him about, well, me. Really? How did he even know? Beats me. Some people are just perceptive like that, I guess. You figured it out on your own, too. I suppose that's true. Yeah, and he used that knowledge to constantly antagonize me. It was just by some miracle that actually made me conscious of Shoichi. After that, well, it took me a while to get comfortable with the idea. I'm still pissed you knew about it before I had the chance to tell you. On the other hand, if he hadn't found out from someone else, you never would have told him. Well, I guess that's also true. So in a way, this Haruki guy is to thank for you guys. Or to blame if this blows up in a spectacular fashion. Please don't say that, even as a joke. Come on, don't be so uptight. Shoichi clicks his tongue, shooting me a disapproving look. He really needs to work that stick out of his ass at some point. No sense of humor. And he's the only other person who knows? We haven't told anyone else, but I think Aki might be starting to suspect it. He's another one that's really perceptive. We told him! We flat out told him. Yeah, I'm really lucky Hitoka is dumb as bricks when it comes to certain things. I'm not sure how she'd take the news if she found out. She does have a huge crush on Cleveland-kun that's lasted for years now. And I still don't know what I did to deserve it. Guess both siblings have the same taste in men, huh? Well, that's apparently true. I still wish you hadn't said it. Sorry. Oh, I know. I know what I want to know. Have you guys kissed yet? But that's really well, yeah. Don't just tell her that stuff. We've been dating for nearly a month. That much is already a given. I guess. Okay, then I have another question. What is it this time? Sai hunches a little forward, causing us to reflexively do the same, looking like a trio of co-conspirators trying to talk in hushed whispers. Let me turn up the gain on this. Have you guys done it yet? Oh my god! What the fuck? What's with this expression? Oh, I know, because she's into yaoi, so she's She's getting all hot about this. She's such a horny fuck. Look at these blushy fucks. She's gonna fucking Jill off to that later today, and Shoichi's like, oh my god, no. But there's no way. Everyone's blushing. There's no way I'm answering that. No way in hell. Oh, come on, it's not a big deal. God damn it, you can get your fucking porn out of the goddamn internet. You don't need to be fucking fantasizing about your friends fucking. Go to hell, you perverted Fujoshi. Oh, I don't think it was a bad question. Yeah. Shoichi's face is redder than I've ever seen it before. It's the crooked mouth that really gets it for me. If at all possible, it's redder than it was when we had sex, and that's saying something. I guess without all the horny adrenaline, things become a lot more embarrassing. You okay there? Your brain hasn't turned to mush or anything yet, has it? Shoichi nods slowly. There's no change to his facial expression, though. Come on, take a deep breath. It's not a big deal. He places a hand on top of his, giving it a faint, reassuring squeeze. Shoichi tries doing as I say, closing his eyes and putting a hand on his chest, breathing in and out deeply a few times. That's a really bad question to ask. It's not that bad. It is when you look at it like, have you fucked? Like, dude, little tact. We get it, you're horny, but fuck. You really are a perverted Fujoshi. Not you too. What else do you expect us to say to that? That's a really vulgar question, no matter how you cut it. Okay, I'm sorry for asking. Jeez. You've got no delicacy at all. You really are a crude woman. Hey, that's going a little too far. Three of us continue on a cheerful back and forth for the rest of the lunch break, fielding an unending barrage of questions from Saya, who we constantly have to steer away from the subject since she insists on asking risque questions. Well, that seems to be the better one. Yay! So, yeah, it really does go to show that the one that gave me the most don't fucking push it, do not come down this path vibes was the actual right one to choose. Isn't that a fucking funny? Isn't that a funny? Is that a funny? Am I funny? Am I fucking funny? By the time I'm finally done practicing for today, the sky is already threatening to go fully dark. I didn't even realize how late it got. Coach had to actually usher a lot of us out because we were staying way longer than usual. I guess everyone was raring to practice again after the extended vacation we took from the club. As soon as I step outside of the gym with my bag around my shoulder, I look around and notice someone's figure. There he is. Shoichi is leaning against the gym wall, his bag in one hand and his phone on another. He's staring idly at his phone without noticing that I've just gotten out. Shoichi? His ears twitch as soon as I call out to him, and he smiles. He looks up and greets me with a smile, his tail swaying a little behind him. There you are. Did your practice run late today or something? Sort of. A few of us just got lost track of time, I suppose. I bet. I came here to ask if I could go to your place and spend a little bit of time with you after your practice. Oh, shit. But since it ran late, it's almost my curfew by now. I actually have to run in just a bit or I'm gonna be late. Oh, right. Shoichi looks around for a bit before grabbing my wrist and tugging me. What are you doing? Come with me real quick. Shoichi brings me to a spot between the gym's building and the school's outer wall. The shadows of the two walls make it a place that seems a bit dark, even with the sun's orange light shining in the sky. There, no one around here. What was that for? Oh, the kisses! Shoichi takes one step closer to me, pressing me against the wall and leaving a little room for me to stand. He quickly lowers his head and presses his lips against mine. I've already gotten used enough to kissing that as soon as the surprise washes over me, I close my eyes and kiss back. Nyah. Playfully nibbles on my lips. Again, I still don't understand that. For a second or two before pulling away again. I didn't want to leave without a kiss goodbye first. You dork. You risked being late just for that. Of course. Didn't get a chance to kiss you at all in a while. I needed to get it out of my system. To be honest, I could probably fool around with you for a while longer, but then I'd definitely be late. I don't think my heart would be able to handle a makeout session in public just yet. That's a good point, too. Well, I'm gonna run now. And I mean that literally. I'm gonna run home so I don't take any more risks. See you tomorrow. See ya. Jeez, he's such a big dork. But I suddenly feel really invigorated now. I guess it wouldn't hurt to go for a jog and exercise a bit before I go home. Burn off the giddiness. Aww. That's so nice. So yeah, that was the right choice. Man, I would not have fucking known. I would. Oh man. See, this is why. This is why it's good. This is why it's good to ask, because I want to see the good stuff. I don't want spoilers as much, but guidance is good. You know, now I'm struggling here. This is the end of the episode, so I'll go ahead and take my headphones off. But I know a lot of people really liked the streaming episodes, you know, back when I would stream the visual novels. And for some visual novels, it's less risky. For games like Extracurricular Activities, Repeat, Wolfstar Sins in Paradise, those games I could not stream because they're just too risky for sneaking in some adult content. And unfortunately, because of that, I know that if I could stream a visual novel, likely it'd be one like this, where the nudity has been very sparse and very telegraphed. At least so far. I don't know. And someone mentioned that there's apparently a sex scene in a cave with K's route now that I haven't seen yet. But I don't know. I just get worried about it. Because like I mentioned before, I got in a lot of trouble with YouTube because I had uncensored content, and every time I do post censored content, people just complain that it's censored, and even then, just reading it or having censored nudity is enough to get me in trouble. So I just have to skip it. But I do read this stuff so I can recap it for you. And of course, as I always do, I recommend you playing these games for yourself, because by and large, the vast majority of the games I play on here are free, and they're supporting small creators. So if you could click the link in the description to go to the itch.io page, the Patreon page, whatever the fuck, you can get the games for free. Donate if you want to, but it is weird because I look back at the amount of people who were watching back then, and streaming episodes would get thousands of views, and it's not about the views. My argument is that it seems like people are less interested now, and a lot of the problem is also I don't know how reliable my body is, because some days I go to try to record and I just can't. I start into an episode and I realize I can't do it and I have to go. And it's also unfortunate because a lot of times while I'm recording, something will come up and I'll have to pause. And I also know for people who are just interested in, or more interested in the story happening, me getting constantly sidetracked looking at the chat or responding to people can be obnoxious. So I don't know. I don't know how to handle it, because I know that it can be obnoxious for some people. I know that some people prefer it. I know some people would like to see it return. And it definitely seemed just by numbers that more people are interested in what I do when it's live. So I don't know. Or maybe just more people were interested back then, before I got the injury and before I moved and before the multiple breaks and stuff like that. Maybe the vast majority of the people who were watching me just got burned out. And there's also more options now. Shattered Reaper and Dirk the Red Panda cropped up. They really started to flourish around the times where I went. And then, of course, Uki has just gone to the next fucking stratosphere. He's way more YouTube successful than I am. Jake the Fennec dropped off. He's not even doing YouTube stuff anymore. He's just on Twitch. And he doesn't do visual novels. And, of course, then there's Naoki Cooper, who is doing phenomenally. I'm very proud of her. So I'm just... I don't know. At some point, I have to acknowledge the idea that I'm just another person doing this. And I don't know. I don't know. I want to know what y'all want. Would you prefer more streams? Do you... I don't know. There's just something... It makes me feel like... I feel like I'm only 25, but I feel like the old guy who showed up, I didn't get the ball rolling. I wasn't the first one. Uki was doing this before I was. Jake was doing this before I was. And there's others, don't get me wrong. I think Naoki Cooper was doing this before I was too. But I just feel like maybe I'm kicking this can down the road a little too far. Because it seems like other people are doing it to better success, have more interest behind them, and whether they've been doing it for longer or less time than I have, they definitely seem to be doing something that I'm not. And maybe I've just outstayed my welcome. I don't know. Or not so much that, but like the shine is off the apple or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm Jesus. I think I'm just about done for today. My back is giving me some bad vibes. So I'm gonna go hopefully try to edit these. Thank you all very much for watching this episode. If you want to play this game for yourself, which I highly recommend, the link to the itch.io page is in the description, as well as links to my other social media platforms. I'm not very active on pretty much any of them, but they're there. I do post occasionally elsewhere. And Patreon, YouTube memberships are a thing now, if you'd like to support me. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know in the comments what your favorite flavor of ice cream is, because mine is like chocolate peanut butter. It's like a Reese's ice cream. I like that. Also, it's Reese's. Swear to God, anyone fucking says Reese's around me, I get irrationally upset by that. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been the trained unprofessional, and you're not, for what it's worth. Night, everyone. Oh, stay safe. Bye.